Hey, and welcome to Thursday Night Live. I'm your host, Dr. Rita Louise. And thank you all for tuning into the show today. It's going to be a great topic. So, the topic tonight is how to communicate with God, your higher self, your guide, so that you can use that information to guide your life. And there are a lot of people that want to understand that want to know how to tap into their psychic abilities, communicate with God, communicate with their higher self. It doesn't really matter. They want to get information so that they don't do stupid stuff. I mean, unless you're a dumb girl and you get in relationships with like every crappy guy on the planet. But that's because you're not necessarily listening to yourself. But that's a different story. We'll come back to that. And I use those words interchangeably because I don't really know who is providing this information, offering this guidance and advice. So I am just going to use different words to fill those in. But it seems like that's something that people really want to be able to access because it would just make life so much easier. And there are those people that say, oh, well, you have to develop your psychic abilities. You have to open up your chakras and do all of these things so that you can tap into it. But that's really not the case. The case is that we do it all the time. And for most people, we just don't listen. We don't pay attention to the guidance we're receiving, and we let it pass us by the wayside. And this show, one of the topics that we talk about all the time is mindfulness. And this is kind of a side benefit to being mindful. And it's being able to open up those communication channels. And it's not even open the communication channels. It is recognizing that the communication channel is there and that you're receiving it all the time if you happen to listen. So the other day I had a client who, it was actually kind of funny. She says, I'm so confused, but I want to leave my husband. And I'm like, well, it doesn't sound like you're confused. It sounds like you've already made the decision. You want to leave your husband. And it made me laugh because I got the impression from her that, it's time to end the marriage. It's time to leave your husband has been this broken record in her head for a really long time. But there were some situations, as I talked to her more, there were some situations that happened that she was done, and as I like to say, she was ready to put the period at the end of the sentence and move on. And I think I've mentioned this on the show before, that spirit nags. It will just bug you. If you ask a question, what should I be doing now? They'll tell you the same thing over and over and over again until you finally do it. In my own life, my own personal story, when I had finished at the Berkeley Psychic Institute, I was living in California. I moved to Washington. Obviously, that relationship ended. And so I was like, okay, so what am I going to work on now? And I got this message, well, you need to go back to school. So I got a hypnotherapy certification. I got my Reiki master thing. I took some other certification course. And every time I would do it, I would ask the question, so what am I going to do now? And I would get that same message. You need to go back to school. 3 years. And finally, I went back to school and got my naturopath degree. And when I finished that, like within a week, I was like, okay, so what am I going to do now? And the message was, you're going to get your PhD and write a book, which would have been book number 2. And it was like, okay. So I did that. And I will tell you, I have never ever received that message again about needing to go back to school. Thank God. Thank God. Lots of other messages, not that one anymore. But that information comes through on different channels in different ways, depending on who you are and how you're designed and how you more readily receive information. It might be an image, it might be a feeling, it might be something that you hear, that soft voice inside. That for a lot of people, it's hard for them to discern and separate out, is that my ego voice talking inside, or is that my spirit voice talking inside? And then for some people, it might even come through in their dreams. I'm not a dreamer, but there are dream people, and that's how they receive their information. Um, and so I'll just share some stories, about me, because all I really have is me to talk about. Um, and this is talking about like how you receive information on visual levels. So let's back up one quick second. So if you ask the universe a question, the universe will always provide you with an answer. Might not be the answer you want, might not be the answer that you want to hear, but you will get an answer. And so one day my dishwasher had broke, and it was right before Christmas, and the repair guy was not going to be available until after New Year, which meant 2 weeks with a busted dishwasher, which wasn't that big of a deal, except there was about 4 inches of water in the bottom of the dishwasher. And so I sat on the floor with a coffee cup trying to scoop this water out, which was not being particularly successful. And so I asked, it's like, well, what can I use? What else can I use? And it was just kind of a random question. And in my mind's eye, I saw a turkey baster. And I was like, okay, I'm going to listen. Went and got the turkey baster. 20 minutes later, I was done. And so sometimes it could just be you have a question and you get this image, of the face of a friend, a place, whatever, that is the information. That is the response to the question. Sometimes it can be, that soft inner voice inside. Now, for me, that wasn't particularly my strongest, although it has gotten much better over the years. And I find it interesting because when I'm doing health related work with someone, I'll be like, okay, so, in my mind, I'll be like, okay, so what would be like a good supplement for them, or what would be a good therapy for them? And sometimes I get really weird stuff. My personal favorite is I was working with someone and she was having this kidney issue going on, kidney stones, I don't know, kidney issue. And I asked the question, so what could she use to deal with this kidney thing? And the word I heard was hydrangea. Now, I have hydrangeas growing in my backyard. They're very pretty flowers. I love them. But is there a therapeutic property for hydrangeas? Well, there just happens to be. And what they do is the exact thing that she needed for her kidneys. It was weird. But after that, I learned to listen and validate. So if I get some weird thing, I'll just get on my computer, and usually it's right, but I always validate. It's sometimes the message can come through in a feeling, and feelings wise, there's yes is a yes and no is a no. And so yes is, do you want $1 million? Easy yes. If you ask, do you want to work on your taxes? For most people, that's an easy no. And when you get this, I'm not really sure, you're kind of wishy-washy, it's not feeling like solidly yes or solidly no, usually the answer is no. But it's kind of a feeling, it feels good, it feels right, versus like, Bert, don't want to do it. Okay, here's the story. So a lot of years ago at this point in time, there was an organization called Whole Life Expo that put on these giant wellness psychic events. I mean, they did one in Austin, Texas, and they had 22,000 people come through the door over the course of a weekend, something like that. It was a lot of people. And I had done the Austin one and didn't get out of my chair for 3 days. And they came back a few years later and we're going to do one in Dallas. And it didn't feel right. I thought Austin was a better location. I wasn't really sure why they wanted to do it in Dallas. I had been to a number of their events. They've all been very successful for me. But I just wasn't getting the warm and fuzzy feeling about it. And I lived in Dallas. And I decided I was going to listen to myself, and I did not get a booth. I took that like, okay, Rita, you're getting and decided I'm really getting a no. This is a no. Honor the no. Don't talk yourself out of this no. 2 days before the event, the Twin Towers came down in New York, and all airline travel around the country was shut down. And so the speakers that were supposed to appear at the Whole Life Expo were not able to come, and that show bombed out. They opened the door. They weren't charging admission. They were just trying to get people there. I'm going to assume that a number of their vendors didn't come. I know that when I had flown to one of their events in a different city, that I would fly, and so they probably weren't there either. So that was the last Whole Life Expo, which is really sad because it was a great event. And so when we're talking about this, hey, right here, Raylan. Having the cat in the house when I'm trying to do this show is just no bueno. Okay. Hey, puppy, right here, treat, right here. Right here. Thank you. Okay, so Raylan's going to come visit us. Say hi, everybody. Hi, everybody. Okay, when you go in your chair? Go in your chair. Go on, right there. That's a good boy. Anyway, so I'm always talking about mindfulness on the show. And so this is something to be mindful about. So if you're getting some kind of message that, if you ask a question and you get an answer to it, be mindful of that. If you wake up in the morning, and the example I use a lot is you wake up in the morning and you get this thought, this very random thought that says, oh, well, maybe I should take a sweater today. But you don't, which is fine. However, in the afternoon, you end up going somewhere and it's freezing and you're thinking to yourself, God, I should have brought that sweater. God, I should have listened myself. And as you want to access, and I'll say develop this ability, it's okay that you didn't take the sweater. Don't beat yourself up because you didn't take the sweater, but be mindful that you got the message and you didn't listen to yourself, which is fine, and kind of not meditate, but become aware of how you receive that information, because that is that guidance coming to you, that over time you'll be able to listen to and acknowledge easier and easier. And then you get this random thing, hey, take a sweater, and you just take the sweater. You just do it. And just pay attention to the results. And in time, you'll start listening. You'll start paying attention, because you'll find out that what you're receiving will prove out to be true and right and correct for you and what you want to do. And what I found is that when you do, life goes easier. Things are better. It allows you to be more in alignment, more in the flow. And as I like to say, when those little miracles happen, please stop and say thank you and have gratitude. Okay, so that's our soul healer moment for today. But as always, this show is brought to you by soulhealer.com. That's soulhealer.com. If you would like to take the time to schedule a private consultation with me, I would love to talk to you. There are articles as well as all of my books on that site, which are also available on YouTube, on Amazon, Barnes and Noble, et cetera, et cetera. If you're listening to this show in a recorded format, like on Spreaker or Spotify or Substack, and you want to join the live audience, the easiest way to do it is to go to my YouTube channel. That's Just Energy Radio on YouTube. 3 words, Just Energy Radio, at 7 p.m. Central, and click the live button, and it will open up the chat so that you can join us live. And this show is brought to you by the Institute of Applied Energetics. That's appliedenergeticsinstitute.com, where you too can learn to be a medical intuitive, intuitive counselor, or certified energy medicine practitioner. And I invite you to go to that site and download my free 50-page Jumpstart Your Intuition Guide to open the door for you to accessing that information for yourself. Okay. Well, there are like a gajillion comments in here, and I know that Marco is already here. Hi, Marco. So there's a lot of chatter. So if you do not type in capitals, I might not see you. Don't get mad at me. Okay, so let's see. So I will start with this. Marco, Rita, your hair looks amazing. Oh my God, red lips too. Just wow. I guess upvoted. Thank you, Marco. All right, so Dawn's here. Hi, Dawn. Good evening, Dr. Rita. I hope you are well tonight. Could I get a number 3, Dawn, aka Warrior? Dawn, you are doing so much better. So much better. You should be so proud of yourself. And you need to buy this book, Dawn, and it will help you with your worrywart-ness. This is Dang, It Was Me All Along. Okay. And if you get a copy and you buy it off of my website, it comes autographed, and that's priceless. All right, Dawn, so here's your card for today. So the cat and the dog are both in the kitchen now, and I have a feeling that the cat and dog wars are going to start again. Thank you. All right, Dawn, let's see. So, Dawn, I get the impression, I mean, I read you every week, so it's a little hard to be a little, to be totally neutral in this. But I feel like things have calmed down around you, and I feel like you're kind of pulling your energy back, pulling yourself back, you're regrouping. I feel like there's like a new phase that you're going to be moving into, which I feel is going to be very positive. I feel like this last cycle that you went through, you learned a lot about yourself. I mean, maybe not everything, and maybe you're not perfect, but I feel like, you're kind of moving up that that spiral staircase to a higher and better place. So that's really good. That's really good. Okay, Master Player Evening at number 3, please. You sure can. Okay, Master Player, that's your card for today. So, Master Player, I feel like, and the word I'm going to use is that there's a decision you're supposed to be making or are in the process of making. But I'm feeling like it's not really moving forward. And again, and I know we've talked about this before, perhaps it's time for you to stop and pull your energy back and take a break. And instead of trying to make it happen, allow it to happen. Ask the universe, what do I need to do next? What's my next step? And allow it to lead instead of you trying to lead it. I think it will be a lot more satisfying. I feel like it will bring it to you in pieces and chunks that are doable for you in any given moment. But the biggest thing is bring it back into you so that you can process it better and easier. Okay. Hi, Amy. All right, ERRT Radio. Hi, Dr. Rita. I hope you have a great day. And can I please get a reading number 3? You sure can. Okay, and this is your card for today. ERRT Radio, your energy is seeming kind of zen today. I get the impression that there's just been a lot going on around you, where people have been trying to like suck you in, but just a lot. And I feel like your energy has just been like, yeah, screw it. And so I don't know if you have just surrendered to what's going on or have pulled your energy back so that you're not getting involved in it. But I just am feeling like you're just being with it. You're not fighting it. You're not doing anything. You're just being present with it. And that's good. That's really good. Okay. And now we have Yvonne. Hi, Dr. Rita. Can I have a reading number 2? You sure can. All right, Yvonne, that's your card for today. So Yvonne, and I'm not sure if the right word is confusion. I feel like there's a direction you've been looking at moving forward into, and I am feeling some hesitancy. Maybe the feeling that you're experiencing is confusion. I feel like it's a little bit more fear happening. I feel like you and your body have not been able to really ground into it. So maybe that's what needs to happen, that you need to just take a moment to allow yourself to settle, allow yourself to become more present. I feel like the answer is yes, but I think it would be better for you to feel that yourself, own that yourself. Yeah. All right. All right. Hi, Karen. She says, can I have a reading number 3? You sure can. And again, if these readings are resonating with you, please put your comments below. I always love to hear back from you as to, what you're noticing, if it's fitting, and if you want to like share more dirt in your story, I'm always game to sharing that on there. Okay, Karen, here's your card. All right, there's your card. So, Karen, what you're showing me is that you're just tired. I feel like there's just been a lot of activity in your life, activity going on around you. I feel like it's kind of stressed you out a lot. I feel like it has finally broken, or you have finally got to the point where you are moving yourself out of that dynamic. And I feel like your body has just started to release energy so that you can kind of get back to being you and not you being kind of amped up on, hormones and stuff. And not like girl hormones, but like stress hormones, cortisol, and things like that, that are making it so that you just aren't able to relax. I mean, I just feel that there's a lot of stress. But again, I feel like it has just broken and you are moving into the process of letting some of that go. So great place to be. All right, so Amy's here. Hi, Amy. Would love a reading today, please. Number 2, you sure can. All right, Amy, and that's your card for today. So, Amy, I just get the impression that you're being drawn to doing something, drawn to starting something. You're just being drawn to something. And when I look at your energy, I feel like you're looking at it going, well, how the heck am I supposed to get there? And so there's this kind of overwhelming-ish feeling tied to it. I feel like there's part of you that isn't isn't really sure that that's what you're supposed to be doing. I mean, it's interesting because we're having a little bit of a theme here tonight, but I'm feeling like you again being able to calm down, ground, get into the present moment will help to move off all the fog that's in there. Um, when I look at it, Amy, I'm not totally feeling it. I can see why it might have allure, but I'm not feeling like it is necessarily spirit driven where you're thinking or looking at going. And so that might be something you want to revisit to determine, is that something that's really on my path, or is that something that just looks good, looks like a good idea, but isn't really coming from your higher self? So really take a moment to evaluate that. Okay. Okay, let's see. Hey, hey. All right, Christine. Hey, Christine. And she would like a number 1. You sure can. All right, and that's your card, Christine. Whew. Okay, so I'm not really understanding. There's like the picture that's on the card, but that's not really like attracting me. Christine, I mean, has today been a day where you just wanted to cry? I just am feeling this need to emotionally release around you, a certain amount of despair. Um, so if you can cry, just let yourself cry because you'll feel a lot better. And if you've tried using your tools, grounding, tapping, meditating, whatever, 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 I'm not feeling like they're really working anyway because there's kind of this congestion sitting in your space. And really, the best way of getting it out is to just let it out. Maybe some journaling would help move that past or create the opportunity for you to finally let it go. But you'll feel a whole lot better on the back end if you do. All right, I want to hear about that, if that is making sense for you. Hi, Veronica. Hi, Unar. Okay, good evening, Dr. Rita. Happy to be here. May I have a 2, please? You sure can. Okay, Unar, upside down. There's your card for today. All right, so let's see. Oh, excuse me. Wow, big pattern day today. So, Unar, I feel like there is something that's sitting in your heart that you're trying to figure out. I feel like you keep going back and forth, on which is the better way, the higher way, the more spiritual way. And they are seeming almost equal and balanced. And so you're not really getting the clarity that you want or need in this moment. Hey, right here. Maybe the best thing to do is to just kind of step away from it a little bit, and give it a chance to do what it needs to do and then revisit it versus trying to figure it out. Just let it go. Because if it's something that you're meant to do or supposed to do, it will come back. Okay? Veronica thought the topic was awesome. Thanks, Veronica. Hi, Pierre. Nice seeing you. Hi, Sin. Nice seeing you. Veronica, dumb girl here. Admit it. I admit it. Antone. Hey, dude. Good evening. And Dr. Rita and everyone. Marco says, stop, Veronica. You're not dumb. Veronica is dumb. She's part of the Dumb Girl Club. It is the club for some of the most brilliant, amazing, strong, competent women that I know. They get involved with the crappiest guys on the planet. That's the only way you can become a member of the Dumb Girl Club. Okay, Mr. B and friends. Hey, Mr. B. But Christine, it's a club. It's the Dumb Girls Club. So see, you can say it with honor because it's a club. It's the Dumb Girl Club. It's not a knock, trust me. Okay, lots of conversation. Veronica, I'm not dumb about everything, just men. And that is what you need to be to get in the Dumb Girl Club. Okay, so Sin says, if I can ask, probably not Sin. Uh, what should I know from Spirit? Okay, so Sin, the format of this show is that you can ask for a reading and you can ask for a 1 through 3. And I'm going to pick a 1 for you for your reading today. But if you have a question like that, then you need to go ahead and go to my website, soulhealer.com, and schedule a private consultation. Okay? All right, Sin, where did you go? There you are. Okay, so Sin, so I'm going to do a number 1 for you. Okay, and so this is your card for today. And so, Sin, what you're showing me is that instead of spending all of your energy trying to figure out guys, that you should really focus on work and getting your life more together and figuring out where you're going in the future and really work on more taking care of yourself versus thinking about and obsessing on these guys, because you'll end up in the dumb girls club too. Um, so I know that you were asking about some guy, but I think you need to just let it go and let guys go and focus on yourself and learn to love yourself. That's my guidance for today. Okay. All right. So Marco said, and it's kind of long, Rita is correct. That is why you never say, oh, shit's going to be one of those days. The universe listens. Instead, I say every morning, how can I make this a great day? That's right. All right. So Don asked, the question I ask is, how do I forget certain people in my past? I read all kinds of info, but none of it works for me. And you can't get rid of your past, Don. I mean, your past is your past, and people that were in your past are people that were in your past, and you just have to, and I know this is easy to say, but just not focus on it. Like in your mind, you can sit there and think they're a blankety blank, 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 exclamation, exclamation point, asshole. But the trick is to just not have the interactions and who they were and what they did to you hurt you anymore and impact you anymore. But you can't get rid of it. I mean, if you had a crappy childhood, you had a crappy childhood. It's like, own it. If you had people in your life that were bad to you or mean to you or whatever, own it. It's part of your life experience. But you can't get away from it. You can just discharge the emotional energy on it so that, best you can. There are some of my exes that I talk about, and there's still quite a bit of energy charge on some of the things that have happened. And I mean, that's just being human. Okay. Hey, Mary, nice seeing you. All right. All right, you guys. Raylan agrees with me. That's right, because Raylan is smart. What a fluffy puppy. Yeah, he's a good boy most of the time. Okay. Hi, Denise. Nice seeing you. Okay. Drusilla. Hey, Drusilla. Number 3 today, please. You sure can. Okay, Drusilla, that's your card for today. Okay, let's see. Sorry, Drusilla, I'm poking on your energy. I didn't mean to. For some reason, your second chakra below your belly button is really lighting up for me, and I'm just trying to understand why it's doing that. Okay. So see, I asked the question, so why is it doing that? And I got the answer. So now I'm going to reveal that answer. So I get the impression that there has just been a lot going on out there. And the second chakra is really about clairsentience, the ability to feel energy. And, being an empath is really about having access to second chakra type information. And I feel like you have been pulling your energy back. I feel like you pulled it back, but you're really in this observant mode of looking at your energy in relationship to other people. Like you're kind of testing out, like, well, if I do this with my energy, how's that going to feel? And if I do this, how's that going to feel? And so I'm not feeling like there's anything good or bad. I just feel like you're kind of playing with it, and in this moment, you have your energy kind of pulled back because it seems a little bit overloaded with other people's crap. Great exercise, great mindfulness tool that you're working on. I think it will take you a long way, and hopefully you're aware that you are doing this, aware on some level that you're doing this. All right, Pierre. And again, you guys, and actually I didn't put this up, but if these readings are resonating for you, I would love it if you would go to my website, soulhealer.com/live, and leave a little something, something in the tip jar, because I would love you to death if you did. Yeah. Anyway, all right, back to Pierre. All right, number 2. All right, and Denise Thomas, you're next. Okay, Pierre, that's your card for today. So, Pierre, I feel like you've moved into a creative cycle right now. And you're bringing in all of these ideas and just trying to figure out which one really resonates with you. I feel like the speed at which things are moving through your mind is a bit much. You might ask spirit to slow it down a little bit. I mean, it might be a good speed for you. I shouldn't make a judgment that way. But it is also possible for you to ask them to slow it down a little bit so that you can more fully interact with the different ideas. I mean, it's funny because I just keep getting nope, 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 nope. And you know what? That's fine. At least you're being honest and consistent with what's going on. I feel like once the right one comes to you, there'll be like lights and whistles and sirens and flashes and all kinds of stuff that will let you know that it is the one. So lots of no's are okay. Don't be frustrated with that if that's what's happening. Okay? All right, so Denise, she says, hi, Rita. I've seen you on Awake Nation. May I have a reading, please? Denise, thank you for coming to the show today. I really appreciate you coming and hanging out with us. You sure can have a reading today. So for those of you on every other Wednesday at 7:30 Central, 8:30 Eastern, and I'm talking AM, 7:30 Central AM. Every other Wednesday. So I was just on Awake Nation this past Wednesday. So it'll be 2 weeks and I'll be back on. So check it out. And you can like hang out with me there too. All right. All right, Denise, here's your card for today. So Denise, I feel like I'm going to say in the midst of a project, you have something going on, and I feel like there's a sense of urgency to it. And I want to validate, yeah, there is a certain sense of urgency to it. It is definitely not something that should be procrastinated for a long period of time. Um, I'm kind of feeling like you're amping yourself up maybe a little bit more than it needs to be. I get the impression that you tend to be a go get it done kind of gal. And so things don't just sit undone for long periods of time. And that's just how you do it. So even though there's that urgency or that it needs to get done, if there's any stress tied to it, just let that go, because it's just creating an uncomfortable energy dynamic inside of you that really doesn't need to be there, because you already know you're going to do it, period. Hope that makes sense. I would love to hear some feedback from you. Okay, Master Player says, excellent, Rita, thank you. And then Don says, thank you again. I just keep getting up each day and trying to do things on the positive side. Love you too. And Don, and I keep saying this, Don, it's like I've seen so many changes in you that I'm just so proud of you. Okay, so Joe says, hi, Amy. Oh, I'm in via YouTube. Wink. Okay, don't know what that is. Antone says, hey, Rita, could I get you shuffle a card 3? 3 for you, Antone. Okay, I'm looking at the time. Okay. Man. I got cards flying everywhere tonight. Okay. 3 for Antone. That's your card for today. And just FYI, so when I'm releasing energy, when I'm letting go of energy, if there's energy shifting in myself or inside of you, I will yawn. Now, granted, I am tired. I have been laying flooring for the last 3 days and carrying flooring boxes, which were heavy as hell. But this is more of an energetic yawn and not a like I'm ready to take a nap yawn. So just it's there. Okay, back to you, Anto. So, Antone, I feel like one of the things that you're working on is coming up with ways to nurture yourself. I feel like it's kind of a stretch for you, even the thought of doing something like that. Um, and it's interesting because I feel like you're like reaching out into the universe, wanting to bring something in. Oh. And I think what I want to say to you, and I hope you listened to the beginning of the show, and if not, please watch the opening of this show because I think it's very relevant for you. Antone, you just need to listen. I feel like you are getting that guidance on a regular basis, but you're not really paying attention to it. Okay? All right. Ann Lee, reading please, number 3. Sure thing. Okay, that's your card for today. Now I have the cat and the dog here, which I'm sure is going to turn into some craziness. Okay, and Anne, your energy just feels really zen today. I'm not sure that I have a whole lot to say other than it feels calm, it feels neutral. I feel like when I look at your space that you have, I'm going to say, good boundaries and good protection from all the crazy going on around you. I feel like not that you're using it as an isolation tool to keep people away from you, but as this is just how you are carrying your energy right now, I feel like you have made a commitment to yourself to stay in that Zen place the best you can. And I want to validate that you're doing a good job, because I feel like they are there. But in your space, you have a cup of tea and there's like a little chime playing with a little breeze going through the trees. I mean, it just seems um, good and calm. And good and calm is good and calm. Okay. All right. ERT Radio says, thank you, Dr. Rita. And I have been feeling an energy drain. So I think this is my reaction of pulling back or avoiding things. But ERT Radio, sometimes that energy drain is not that we're draining energy, but we're releasing energy, which can be a really good thing. It's sometimes it takes a little bit of time to just let it unwind and go to wherever it's going to go. So again, don't have judgment. And if you're pulling back, that's okay, because that's kind of a self-preservation place, being in that energy release place, because we tend to be a bit more vulnerable at those points in time. Okay, so Yvonne says, exactly, thank you. Sin, you don't listen. All right, and one, I already gave you a reading. And I only do 1 through 3, not 1 through 3, 4, 5. If I can ask anything, should I? And no, if you want to ask a personal question like that, you need to schedule a private consultation by going to soulhealer.com. All right, Amy says, hi, Dr. Rita, miss my ask above. Can I get a reading? Amy, I gave you your reading. All right. All right, Karen says, right on point. My eye is like burning up. In a place of total surrender. Excellent. Hey, Miss Joe, how are you? Where am I time-wise? And then Karen says, appreciate the encouragement. Oh, that was to Marco. All right, Joe says, I'm new, Dr. Rita. Can I get a number 2 reading? Joe, you sure can get a number 2 reading. And you're going to be my last one for today, because my eye is freaking burning up. Okay. All right, and that's your card for today. Okay. Ooh. And Joe, when I look at your energy, I feel like you are letting go. And ERRT Radio, pay attention to this one too. But I feel like you're just releasing a lot of energy right now. I feel like that energy was just really old. I feel like it is tied to core beliefs and core energies that you've carried around for a long time. And so I feel like the letting go feels and seems kind of heavy. But with that letting go creates room for new things to grow. It's kind of like like cleaning out your closet or purging your house. You get rid of all of that junk so you can get new junk to replace it. No, just kidding. But I feel like this is a very positive place for you to be, like you, ERRT Radio, and just allow the process to happen and don't be judgy about it. It is, and it is part of life, and it is a cycle, and sometimes it lasts a day, sometimes it lasts a week, sometimes it lasts a couple of weeks, and that's okay. It's okay. Hi, Deb. Oh, and where are we? All right, I got one more second. I would love for everybody that's here, if you could send a prayer to our Deb's son. He got into this really bad motorcycle accident and has got like busted leg and a busted arm and a fractured vertebrae and got all this stuff going on. If you could just send him some healing thoughts and healing prayers, I would just really appreciate that. She would just really appreciate that. He would just really appreciate that. Thank you. Amy says, thanks for the reading. Lots of fog rolling around here, so I have to put myself on a little hole for right now. Heading to the tip jar. Thank you. Yeah, and don't forget, if your session was good, you can leave a little something in that tip jar because I would really appreciate it from you. Okay, so there's a couple of people that are left, but my time is up, and there's still a lot of scrolling here. So I'm going to call it a night. Roberta, I don't mean to like blow you off. And actually, all right, Roberta, you're going to be my last because I don't recognize your name, and I would love for you to come back. Okay, you would like a number 2. Okay, and that's your card for today, Roberta. So, Roberta, I am feeling like there is repression, I'm going to say, in your space. What you keep showing me is I want to be free. I want to get out. I want to be able to express myself and kind of open up and have this freedom. I can't really think of a different word, so I don't know if that's something that you're working on or something that you're just dreaming about. If it's something that you're just dreaming about, maybe ask the universe, what do I need to do in order to have that in my life? What step can I take to move me closer to having that in my life? And any little step is that one little bit closer to having that dream. Okay. All right, guys, that's the last one for today. I'm just going to kind of scroll down here a little bit. Veronica says, right on, Rita, admitting your issue is the first step. Bradley belongs to the Dumb Guy Club. Unar says, I'm in the Dumb Girl Club. That's why I'm single. I no longer trust my choices. I'm happier than ever. I love your show tonight. Thank you, lady. Okay. Okay. All right. I'm going to go, guys. I got to click this off. So again, which includes sin. If you would like to schedule a private consultation, please go to my website right away, not sometime, and reach out to me and we can set up a time. And again, if you would like to leave me a little something in that tip jar, soulhealer.com/live. And again, also, if you would like to become a medical intuitive counselor, or energy medicine practitioner, please go to appliedenergeticsinstitute.com and jumpstart your intuition with my free 50-page guide. Anyway, guys, I'm going to go. I'm Dr. Rita Louise. This is Thursday Night Live. Till next week, be blessed.